Hello everyone, this is Greyshot Moments. I'm going to bring you another Company First replay brought to you by, well, if you don't want to know, you don't have to, because it could be any of these guys, and skip now. Alright, it's Destroyer, with Cookie as his teammate versus Lone Wolf and Jarrett Hughes. Let's double check ranks. Not exactly high ranks, but, you know, decent, definitely better than, lower, sorry, than the other team. 2v2 on Linux. This was part of the Western, No, this is part of Dean. Was there a Dean's Assault? I think Western Front, kind of around that time frame. Anyways, yeah, it was Western Front. In any case, if you want to send a replay, you can do so via my Gmail or Facebook located on my YouTube channel. Make sure you send that in. I also want to thank my Patreon supporters like Leo, Sean, and Tim for sending in a replay. Thank you guys so very much. Also, if I possibly mess up a word or something, I apologize. The reason I say that, or if I may become flummoxed at some point, is I currently had a tooth removed. Go to the dentist, kids. Make sure that you get a regular checkup so you don't have to get a wake-up call saying, hey, guess what, your tooth is about to literally cave in on itself because of a bad implant that happened a while ago. You should probably get that fixed, otherwise you're going to have a really painful year. Oh, it's already going to be great. But yeah, so sorry about if this replay is, if I mess up in that regard. That is my bad. But again, sometimes that happens. Again, two British guys versing OKW and Vermont. The problem with the versing the British is, as you just saw, they're very good defensively. They're very good for holding their ground and slowly advancing. That's the counterpoint, though. British infantry, unless you get them really upgraded, are not great at mass assault. They actually, because of their guns and the equipment and everything, are pretty terrible with their weapons. So typically, if you're OKW, you just hold your ground and wait for the assault to break. Because as you can see, the infantry, they don't fire all that fast, and out of cover, they fire really slow compared to guys in, you know, basic cover or heavy cover. So as we can see, these British guys kind of fucked up. They moved away from their heavy cover to kind of medium to no cover, so they're being picked off very easily. If I was an OKW player, again, you just want to lure them into a trap, a kill zone, if you were so inclined to say. Now, the problem is, I'm assuming, yeah, they have Vickers machine guns covering themselves, and they're strong enough that they can easily neutralize the Kubel. So what else am I gonna say? Oh yeah, I was like, there was something else really obvious. No one went south. This is a good thing and a bad thing. Good news is no one has it. Bad news is the fact that, well, that's the munitions point. So both sides are not getting a ton of munitions, and right now the OKW especially are getting less than the Allies. So they really need to go grab some resources. But the nice thing is they have a Kubel. And if I was an OKW player, I would just send the Kubel down south and grab some territory, as one should do, as one would do in this particular scenario. Because if you keep the British, which don't have as many forces and are kind of more, like I said, fortified, up north in entanglement, while you come down south. That's also something people forget about this game. You don't need to attack and win if you're keeping another unit at bay. I'm also seeing a major flaw in the British. And that is simply, they both went the same doctrine. I don't know how many times I say this, but do not go the same doctrine. It's a bad idea. Also, this poor Kubel running for its life, it runs into an MG like, hello. But yeah, the advanced emplacement regiment is don't worry, it's a very good doctrine. I like it because it's great for holding emplacements, countering enemy artillery to break emplacements, and allowing you to hold your ground very easily. I also like the forward assembly that you can put down that, again, has repair stations on it. It's more costly than like the Soviet variety, but I mean, really, it's a lot more costly. 75 munitions is not too bad. And then this building, while you can have the forward retreat point and make it very tough, it also heals both your emplacements and vehicles, which is why it probably costs more. But yeah, a couple of these suckers around your emplacements, your base will be they'll be automatically healed, and it'll be very hard to take out. Plus, they boost it, so yeah, that would be a huge issue for any player. Where's this? Okay, you just got it. So the Kubel's on standby. We have another British push. He has some heavy cover here, but we have MG42s. Again, MG42 could very easily dominate British infantry out in the middle of nowhere. So right now, if I was that British player, I would kind of like either keep the guy there or just don't push up. See, because if he goes up here, he has no cover, and that's not going to give his infantry the best advantage against these guys. Now, if I was this guy as well, I would probably get in the medium cover, although I can see the rifle grenade. Yeah, just like that, taking out a lot of guys, because they're all grouped up. Let's see, infantry pushing up, dominating British infantry. I love this ground game idea. Again, 2v2. I just did a bunch of like live action 4v4 games, and those were really fun, but they were bigger 4v4 games. It's nice to have a more intimate 2v2 game because you see more infantry tactics and co-op maneuvers. But unfortunately, like I said, the South... Okay, now it's funny. They're both going at the exact same time. We have a Pioneer squad on one side, and we have a Engineer... Wow, they both send Engineer squads. All right. We have 2 sets of Engineer squads down south. Very cool. Very cool indeed.
6-pounder anti-tank gun finished.
Now, who's going to win? I actually think the Royal Engineers will. Even though they have a Piat, it's still a pretty much a very good weapon to have, especially against a Kubel or just basic infantry like a Pioneer. Pioneer I don't see as a great offensive unit, honestly. I mean, they're fine, but they're not fantastic or really not that potent. Now, we can see here very interesting. Did either of these guys go for... They have not gone a fortification. And it's funny because they both went a fortification doctrine. That's a big no-no. I like he got an AT gun, but right now there's a scout car literally dominating up north and taking out all of his positions. The OKW are kind of just like on standby, and as you can see they did push south because of that reason. But we'll see how things go. Pioneer took out a guy, I'm assuming because he went through... Was it negative cover? Is there any negative cover? Okay, on this main road, but not the side road. I like how the Pioneer, like, walked by. It's like, oh, there's a guy there. Oh, better go on the negative cover to retreat. Yeah, that's a smart idea. Alright. We have more infantry pushing down south. And the problem is right now is there's so much cover. The British infantry will be able to easily get the bonuses if they would actually go to cover. Now these guys are just staying out in the middle of nowhere. Really dumb for supposedly a very smart player, aka level 2 or 3 prestige. But yeah, she's probably getting cover. But nice job killing the Kubel, who kind of got pinned. Now let's see. Right now we have Destroyer. I'm not saying the first part for, you know, reasons, like the same thing. I won't say hail blah blah blah, even though there's a guy's name that's pretty much that, just for common courtesy. Close air support doctrine, very good, but I don't think on this map it will be okay. I'm of two minds. If you're planning on hitting infantry or vehicles, this map is so large that it's going to be very, very difficult. Also, once again, British infantry just running and getting themselves killed. The counterpoint I have to make is emplacements. This doctrine, the anti-tank strafe specifically, is fantastic at killing emplacements if they don't harden. Also, you have an AT gun in the middle of nowhere. But let's say, is that a mortar pit? Yeah. So they have a mortar pit here. One AT strafe can knock out all these emplacements and also knock out the AT gun. It's an option. It's a really good option, and one they should probably do if they start going heavy emplacements.
Good news. The ability is ready for use.
Oh boy. So bridge, it looks like a defensive line as they throw some fire grenades, try to kill the emplacement. I would harden a brace, sorry. I guess the correct term. Yeah. And but we can see here, Hughes doesn't have a ton of manpower. He's kind of like slowly befalling. Also, the GTA hates when I say this, but it's absolutely true. Build a Boffer before you build a mortar, because that Boffer would help defend it. I know the mortar's coming in, but also people forget the special fire on the mortar. I'm sorry, the Boffer is literally a suppressing fire, which can take out a mortar. Also, did you even see this? Nice sniper. I wondered why or how he kept picking off all those guys. Just had a German sniper just firing long range with a scout car on supporting him. Very cool. Very cool indeed. Because again, British infantry are made out of 4-man squads. You can upgrade to 5th, which is kind of like, hey, you know, we survived Dunkirk. We survived the battles. We got some men back. We got some men from Australia and whatnot. We can keep fighting. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So the four-man squads, the sniper essentially is the same thing like a German squad would. It's very susceptible because it's literally a quarter of your squad taken out by a single guy, guaranteed. So that's something that they have to watch out for. Especially because, again, all of these support weapons as well, four-man squads. So the sniper can just keep picking them off. And I would be very surprised if the... oh, wow, actually, he just probably moved it up. It hasn't really been there all that long, has it? I really thought it was there longer. Huh. Alrighty then. Touché. But the problem is, even with a defeat up north, as we can see with Hughes losing a ton of men, the one bright side is the fact the Allies have a lot of resources. They have a lot of munitions coming in. They have a lot of actually basic resources, I mean, with fuel, even though they don't really have a fuel point as of yet. We're C1 about to be captured. Well, I think this could be right now a detriment because he doesn't have a lot of men. It's a positive because he can use those resources to get himself an armored unit. And right now we can check Cookie, who is again the OKW player, and he is also getting a headquarters. But by fuel, he's probably not going to get it as quick as, let's say, the British player would. So they can have probably a minute to 2 minute window where armor can move in and really do a lot of damage. Let's see, Destroyer on the other hand, once again, let's see, he's upgraded to phase 2-ish, kind of around that point. Maybe he'll go for phase 3, but either way, he's going to be out of the armor game for at least another couple minutes as well. I would say at least until about the 16-17 minute mark. So right now the British have a window to turn the tide and start gaining some space. But we can see here by the Germans that they are also not stupid. They have AT guns and they have their own defenses just in case. Let's see, Lone Wolf does have multiple AT guns on standby. Once again, I love how much anti-armor this guy's making, even though it has been, except for the scout car, which a Beaufort would have handled just fine. There really isn't a ton. The counterpoint to the British and their armor advantage is the manpower advantage that the Allies, or the Axis, have. We can see here Cookie, being very smart, has decapped all these territories. So even though they had the resource advantage, right now they just successfully neutralized and cut off all supplies to British command. That allows the British to essentially lose all those resources that they spent so much time capping until the Axis can. Now they are recapping the northern one, so they'll get a little bit of fuel, but they're also equipping it with guys with Brens, and I'm assuming maybe a Piat. Is there a Piat in there? I don't see a Piat. I see an MG, but I don't see a Piat. So essentially a lot of anti-infantry components at least to it. Now he did grab a Vickers, so that could be very bad. Medium cover, so if he used enough concentrated fire, should be fine. We can see here a plane coming in, so it's going to be doing a strafing run. Very cool, coming in from the other direction. So he's like, I'm just going back up before the plane arrives, and it arrives. Again, you want to call that plane in as close to off map as possible, because that way it gets to that target zone quicker. You don't want to call it in from the opposite end of the map, because that plane, it'll take forever for that plane to arrive, and you could miss your opportunity for a decent airstrike or something. So that's something you do have to watch out for. Now, like I said, I don't know what exactly he's going to be doing with those AT guns. I'm assuming what his plan is move up to that headquarters and neutralize it, but we'll see. One thing that I will say that I'm actually surprised they didn't do, that again you can do, is there's that counter battery fire. Now we saw earlier the mortar pit was taken out by mortar fire. Again, if you're really that worried about armor, mortars hitting your emplacements, if you use these artillery pieces, which are, by the way, in the British base, they'll literally both fire and hit any artillery piece on the map, close to almost hitting the enemy base. They won't go all the way. I think like 75% of the map will be covered, because I've seen them have like a range of sorts. But again, that's fantastic because of the fact that you can build a mortar, you have a solid anti-infantry and light armor defense, and not worry about mortars because your base will take care of it. Simple thing. Very nice job with the four-man squad. Oh wow, they are dominating with those Volk squads. Very cool. I also like how he keeps flanking and knocking out the support guns. If he can take those Vickers as well, that just makes it a lot harder for the British to counterattack, for them to advance. So we'll see how well things go. Nice fire grenade, kind of uproot them, get them out. We have Volk squads moving in, trying to use that advantage again, keep them hitting one or two directions. Nice fire on the main entrance, again neutralizing the way. Oh shoot, yep. So they go into no cover, so the Volk squad gets closer to them and neutralizes it. Now, the advantage here is Hughes has a Centaur that's a very good anti-infantry tank. Also good for planes, which is, unfortunately, Destroyer's main focus, so that's bad. Let's see, Cookie has a couple, so we have one AT gun, the British one. We have a lot of Verkenwerfers coming in and a support gun. So right now we can see this thing come in and do a lot of damage. With recon plane coming in, so he probably anticipates a large counterattack now, but he knows what's coming. Also Centaur, I'm just saying, I know we have a plane crash coming over here, wanted to show that. But Centaur can move up and neutralize that. The fact he isn't is kind of astonishing, but that's just me. Wow, nice job. Let's group all the guys up so that mortar that's been giving us hell the entire game gets taken out. Do we have any counter? No, we have no counter artillery going in effect. It's not that expensive. It's just 30. You can't use anything in the building for that time, but I mean, are you building a tank right now, Hughes? No, you certainly are not. You don't have the fuel for it, so you don't have to worry about that building being pretty much operational for a good minute, because there's no way you're going to get a tank in the next minute. Stuff like that kind of bugs me when people are just like, I can't use it. Well, you could, and it would have no detrimental effect to you. Now, unfortunately, detrimental effect they have to worry about is all the AT guns that are currently being deployed and moved up to the front, so that the Centaur is essentially going to be countered pretty damn hard. Let's see right now. We have Destroyer on standby. He has a nice variety, but not really good assault squad. I think Cookie's been more of the attacker and aggressor, which again makes more sense, I think, because I think Cookie's the higher ranked player. He is. Centaur going through town. A bad idea. If I was the Wehrmacht player or OKW, I'd place mines throughout the town, because you can see here there's a lot of these choke point areas, great for mines. He's going after what, an MG, and he's keeping his tank just right on the main road, so the pack gun is just going to annihilate that thing, and then barely alive it makes a retreat. But the Panzer IV comes in. Now it has really good armor compared to any other essentially anti-air unit. It has amazing armor capacity, but it's still a medium armor tank, so Panzer IV could still take it out. And we can see here it did bounce 2 shots, which is quite astounding. AT gun should probably change south. Is that? No, he missed that one. Okay. Wow. That is the luckiest and unluckiest. That's the luckiest Centaur and the unluckiest Panzer IV I've seen. We see here in a placement. Once again, I'm very surprised. Hold on. We have a Boffer now. Oh, thank Christ. We're 18 minutes in game, and now you get a Boffer. Congratulations. Very happy for you. For being both guys going advanced in placement, you both suck. You both failed to utilize this doctrine in a correct manner. Again, you want to advance as far as you can, very decently, put up a defensive line, and then use that to launch further engagements. Right now, you guys are just desperately clinging to barely any territory, as the Germans have already gotten themselves a Panther. And like I said, Cookie, it took about, what, I said 17, so it turned out to be the 18-minute mark. And honestly, he got it because of the building. So, very nice. Again, we have a Command Panther, which boosts all armor. There really isn't any armor on the front. We have the new Panzer IV, but it's still a really nice bonus for just essentially a Panther. So, not a bad idea, and pretty good with special operations if you can get some better infantry too. You can also do recon, so you don't have to worry about it being neutralized. Very surprised he did not send that back to heal. That seems like a big, obvious thing to do. But we have a lot of British infantry moving up, and I guess they were trying to flank, but yeah, enough mortar fire and everything, and an MG scattered about, just got it. Again, what I love about this is the fact that, again, the town's locked down. Nothing's changed about that. They've done a pretty damn good job at locking down all locations for the British, so now they're kind of clumping up. And that's kind of the good/bad. Good news is, the Axis can't push in that territory because you're so goddamn heavy. The bad news is you can't move any troops elsewhere because they have you locked down and constantly pinned against overwhelming fire. It's like in my Hearts of Iron gameplay series where when I attack another division, they have to attack it. If they pull back, they receive a penalty because of it. That's what I kind of see here. They can't really pull back because, again, the front line depends on them. So we'll see how things go. Also, love the goddamn double. Oh, we're about to see something good here, ladies and gentlemen. Plane coming in on a 3. Can we get 3 AT? 1, 2, almost a 3. Would have been almost a triple. But again, AT strafe knocking out a lot of AT guns. Help save the Panther, which allowed it to pull back and not be crippled by a bunch of AT guns opening fire. And also a benefit is that these AT guns, if you look at their health, barely alive. One decent support gun hit and it pops the AT gun. They're still equipment, so they can break. The fact you're charging in so close has me very confused. But now that I see that there's so many support guns firing, that you know that you can get through. And then you're throwing those infiltration grenades. Problem is, they have mortars too, and one of your guys got popped. I would retreat that immediately. Yeah, you're going to lose that unit from MG fire. It was a nice idea, but yeah, a little bit cocky. That being said, he can, you know, be cocky, because right now, they have the British essentially locked down, and army-wise, they still have the numbers game on their side. The problem is they no longer have assault troops. I mean, like, okay, now we have Grenadiers and Panzer Grenadiers coming in, so it's getting better for them, but the British can now kind of move about without suffering too many casualties. Though, down south, we can see that Destroyer is dropping down munitions because of his doctrine. He can, for 200 manpower, drop down to about 150 munitions. About that, it supplemented the redistribution of resources that Relic thought was overpowered, and I would definitely agree. It kind of sucks that, oh yeah, this is the thing for a doctrine. It's like, well, couldn't you just combine it with other doctrines and get just help each other out? It's like, oh yeah, we could. Okay, we'll do that. We'll make it a more team effort focus, and that's why you can get this ability, which drops down fuel or munitions, and I kind of like that because it helps your team, and of course, be a risk. There's actually a cost benefit to this, which is really, really cool. Same thing like the Oboe Blitz trucks, though I think that one's still broken because I think they should add a pop cap to those trucks. It doesn't have to be a lot, maybe just 2 pop cap, but something to kind of inflict a little bit of a repercussion for you having all those supply trucks scattered about. It should cost something, because otherwise you're just going to get a ton of trucks out as soon as possible. Anyway, Pioneer Squad picking them up, getting a ton of munitions in the meantime. Let's see, the British are trying to expand. They are laying mines, which I think is a really cool idea. We can see here he upgraded his British troops to have more men. Very smart. Oh, you are very... I was going to say, I can't believe that Panther fell for it. But he got crippled, so that Panther's out of commission for a short while. Do we have any armor on their side? We have AT guns, and we have mortar pit, which is currently hitting the Panther, which would be hilarious if over time the mortar pit killed it. Probably not, because the Stern Pioneer is going to heal it, but it would be incredible. No, not really anything. I'm assuming you guys are saving it for a Firefly, which would probably be your best idea. But now we see here that Cookie's like, okay, screw it. We're just going to start. I mean, support guns are helping, but they're not breaking it. We need something with low extra firepower. And the Stuka is exactly what you need. It's great at countering emplacements. Though the counter battery could start opening fire, it's highly mobile and very good at neutralizing this. People have called it the best mobile artillery in the game, and I like that, and I don't. I still think the best artillery in the game is still the Katusha. And before you say, oh, Greyshot, what are you saying? I just think of it for constant damage and stuff, and overwhelming firepower. I still think of the Katusha as the best. But if you're looking at statistics and what people say, especially with the flame barrage, if you can get it up, then yes, I would say the Stuka is better in a lot of circumstances. But again, it's just how you use it. The Katusha I see a lot more killing blobs. The Stuka I see a lot more for killing emplacements and armor. Oh, there we go. So we had a direct Stuka bomb, land on some poor infantry units, capping the point, and decap the point. So no longer any future emplacements can be moved up. We do have a Bofer. But we'll see how well that goes for. Yeah, my big thing about this, and it's just me, is the fact, don't get me wrong, you're trying. You're obviously trying to hold out, but this fortified line is so kind of late. It's not going to and you got yourself a Cromwell. You know the enemy has a Panther, so you decide to get a tank that's still obsolete. I question your motives. I question them greatly. Oh, look, we have also Panzer Grenadiers, so they can easily counter that armor. Again, I don't know why you got that, but sure, why not? Let's see what happens. We have a recon plane coming through. We'll probably get shot down by the Bofer. Come on. There it goes. I'm like, I know we'll get shot down. Probably crashes us somewhere outside the map. So let's see right now. The big problem is they're kind of grouping up too much. Enough art. Again, look how many munition points Destroyer has. What he's going to do is he's going to call in every single plane he can and every single airstrike he can just to annihilate that area. I guarantee it. He's just going to bomb those emplacements to death with those planes, which is hilarious because there's an anti-air gun, and just clear the way for the Germans to just push on through with very low resistance. I'm making that assumption, and I'm definitely saying that's what's going to happen. British infantry opening fire and realize that their guns cannot penetrate Panther armor. They don't have anti-material rifles, and even if they did, most of them were not in the war or all that effective. You had the PTRS rifles, of course, but I mean, like, they weren't as, let's say, effective as they were in World War I. Oh, and look, that Stuka came in and did a ton of damage. Oh no. Stuka bomb coming in. Again, highly recommend the anti-tank strafe against these. Let's see if he does it. Alright, kind of missed that airstrike a little bit. Probably would have been better if you would have called in at, like, this point. Or, I don't know, a little farther, like, around. Because anytime you call in that direct Stuka strike, you always want to put in an area that will still do damage, but you want to kind of mind trick your enemy. You kind of want to make him believe that you're going to call it in one place and then actually hit another. Because all they can hear is the sound. They have no idea where specifically it's going to be called in on. They just have an approximate area. But yeah, right now, if we look at resource-wise and just overall, like, oh boy. Yeah, I was just going to say army-sized until that thing got blown up. There's no way they can penetrate. Now, we can see here the Panzer Headquarters has sustained substantial fire from the mortar pit, which is why the Germans are forced to engage, because otherwise, if they lose that area, it will be very easy for the British to just kind of move up very quickly. So they want the headquarters up. The question is how they break it. And again, we have the support guns on standby, which, I mean, he has 3 AT guns and 2 support guns. You're not going to push up with armor. Oh, shoot. Well, something just popped over here, and I'm assuming because of all that, I'm assuming you just killed a lot of British infantry. I see 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you killed a lot of British infantry. Very nice strike. Come on, strafing run. British infantry try to push into town, but there's too much in the MGs, and also just random German infantry just around every bush, so that's not going to help. We have another Panther being called in from Destroyer, and we still have the other Panther up here that's about to get Vet 1, so, okay, nice. Yeah, at this point, it's GG. I've not seen any. I was thinking maybe a Firefly or something could help turn the tide. Nice. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Strafing run. Neutralize the building so that way they can't heal, and then you can just kind of go up. And, oh my god, they... a second sooner, that would have been perfect. Oh, wait, here we go. Bye, T-guns. Nope. Goodbye, mortar pit. AT-guns moving up, but there's no infantry cover with them or anything. So, they can get a couple hits on the Panther, but they'll be killed shortly. And I'm just going to fast forward for this point because it essentially is GG. I was thinking maybe they could lure the Germans to a trap and counter, but I'm just not seeing any sign of... again, which is hilarious because they've played this game a lot. The fact that they would even do that tactic and kind of fortify that much is incredibly stupid, in my opinion. Because again, it's like... they'll slowly whittle you down. They have the advantage. You need to be aggressive. Yeah, I know as the British it's more difficult, but you still need to be aggressive. Oh, okay, nice job with the Panther. I'll give you that. But so many Stuka bombs are being called in. AT gun. Again, one thing I'll say about the British, they've been getting a lot of AT guns. Has it helped? No. But they're getting it. Time on target did barely anything. And yeah, it's just been a slaughter over here in mid. Alright, let's double check that score. Cookie got more damage, and I can see why. His infantry were doing fantastic on the front, and for Kenworthers were guarding very well. Got more kills as well. Although Destroyer did pretty good. Definitely better than Hughes. Oh my god, Hughes got annihilated over and over and over again. Lone Wolf was better. I think that he still had some good plays. The problem is by himself, I know he's the Lone Wolf, whatever. But A, going the same thing didn't help, and B, I think the armor and stuff that the British just picked in general did not constitute any means of changing the tide. A Firefly would have helped counter the Panthers. I know you want those ET guns, but you need something more mobile because of the constant artillery strikes. That's my opinion, and especially because you want something to definitely penetrate Panther armor, and that's exactly what a Firefly does. It penetrates the goddamn armor like no one's business. So what can I say about this replay about these guys? Honestly, that was a nice little 2v2. I think that it just highlights the British inefficiency at assault and also the Germans' ferocity on the battlefield in this game. But again, why you need to kind of have that defensive line in a better situation earlier, especially if you're going more defensive tactics. It's weird that you went defensive late and not early. That throws off the whole game, honestly. But in any case, that is game. I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.